I stepped into the wedding hall like a ghost come back for vengeance, heels tapping, emerald green dress shimmering, every head in that ballroom snapping around. I could see Mark's face, the man who once promised to love me in sickness and in health, turned sheet white, mouth open, hands shaking at his sides. I raised a little USB drive, cool and casual, and for a split second, the room was nothing but silence and dread. I guess that's what justice feels like, the moment nobody dares look away. Let me back up. You ever wake up one morning and realize your whole life's about to burn down, and you're the only one left holding a match? That was me, Sarah Evans, 27, barely making rent in Seattle, freelance designer, always tired but pretending I wasn't. The day I found out about the cancer, I was too numb to cry. Dr. Harris just looked at me, all soft eyes and low voice, saying, "Sarah, it's stage 3. Like he expected me to fall apart. But I just sat there, feeling the ground tilt, nodding along, like I still had some control over anything. I remember calling Mark, the man I'd lived with for 4 years, the man I thought would stick it out with me through anything. He said, "I'll be here, whatever happens." I believed him. God, I wanted to believe him so badly. 3 weeks into chemo, I was crouched over the toilet, hair coming out in clumps, skin gray, shaking like a leaf. Mark came home. For a second, I thought he'd bring me a cold towel, sit next to me, anything, but all I got was, "Sarah, I can't do this anymore." Just like that. Not angry, not even sad, like he was quitting a gym membership or something. He'd already called my sister Emily. She was on her way from Portland to take over. I asked if he'd even planned on saying goodbye to my face. He just looked at the floor, keys in his hand, and said, "I'll get my stuff next week." Then he was gone. I laid on my bed that night, the sheets smelling like bleach and old heartbreak. I didn't even have the energy to get mad. Cancer had wrung it out of me. The worst part? He didn't even wait to pretend. 3 days later, I saw it on Instagram. Mark, grinning, arm wrapped around Lindsay Walker at some fancy rooftop bar, wine glass in hand. Lindsay, the nice co-worker from his office. The photo was posted the very night he walked out. You think you've hit rock bottom? Then life finds a way to dig a little deeper. Emily arrived, toting soup, crackers, all the big sister comfort she could. She sat beside me, eyes burning with the kind of anger only family can have. She said, "Mark's been seeing Lindsay for months, Sarah. My friend at his office saw them together, way before you got sick." I tried to breathe, but it felt like swallowing ice. It gets worse. Mark's mom, Judith, stopped by 2 days later, hands full of pale hydrangeas, voice shaky. She looked me dead in the eye and said, "He was wrong. You deserved better." She slid a little envelope across my kitchen table, wedding savings she'd put aside for Mark. "Don't let him use it on her," she said. "Use it for yourself." I didn't have words. All I could think was, what kind of man leaves a woman mid-chemo? What kind of mother can't even look at her son? Turns out Mark wasn't just a coward. He was a planner. My college friend Melanie called. "Sarah, Lindsay isn't some rebound. They started going on trips together long before your diagnosis. He even told people your illness was the perfect excuse to break up without looking like the bad guy." If rage could power a car, I could have driven to the moon. I wasn't just sick. I'd been used as cover, as an alibi. Somewhere in the mess, I found a flicker of stubbornness. I started walking again, just a block at first. I hired a recovery coach, Nora. She didn't coddle, didn't sugarcoat. "Your body's been through hell, but it's not done," she said. I built up strength, learned how to lift tiny weights, sent out freelance pitches, even managed to pay my own bills again. Day by day, I started to remember who I'd been before Mark. The apartment felt like a mausoleum, full of his stuff, his choices, the ugly beige curtains, the lamp he loved. So I sold it, moved across town to Capitol Hill. The new place was small, bright, a little rough around the edges. I hung up a painting Emily gave me, a phoenix rising out of flames. I'd never believed in that stuff, but every morning I looked at it and thought, I'm not done yet. One day, I saw Daniel Reed's name pop up online, a name I hadn't heard in years. He was Mark's old friend, the one Mark called untrustworthy. Curiosity got the better of me, so I messaged him. We met for coffee near our old college campus. Daniel looked older, tired, but honest. Mark forged my signature on company documents, he told me. When I reported him, he flipped it on me, made me look like a jealous loser. I have proof. Other people at the company do too, but they're scared. My hands were shaking again, but this time, not from chemo. This time, I was angry, and I was ready. Daniel gave me names. I met 3 women, each with stories of Mark cheating, manipulating, shifting money around. One of them had hotel receipts, company card, Mark's name, Lindsay's name, trips labeled as business. We gathered emails, spreadsheets, statements. I started to see the outlines of a plan. Then, as if the universe was in on the joke, I got a wedding invitation. Mark and Lindsay, at the Atoria Edge Hotel. The same venue Mark and I had reserved, same deposit, same damn tablecloths I'd picked out. My fingers tightened on the invitation until the paper creased. I called Emily. She didn't hesitate. Whatever you need, I'm in. I wanted a dress that said everything I couldn't, so I found Callie Tran, a designer for cancer survivors. She listened, nodded, and started sketching. An emerald green gown, open back, nothing to hide my scars. Rebirth, she called it. Strength in the open. That was the plan. I'd show up, no warning, no screaming, no tears, just facts. The week of the wedding, Daniel was my shadow, ready with the files, the evidence, the receipts. Emily booked me a room 1 floor above the ballroom. The night before, I stood in front of the mirror, short hair curling over my chin, the phoenix necklace warm against my skin. For the first time in years, I almost liked the woman looking back at me. The big night came. Atoria Edge sparkled, candles and white roses everywhere, champagne towers, guests in designer suits. I walked in, all eyes tracking me, some confusion, a few double takes. But the moment Mark recognized me, it was like someone turned off the music. He tried to play it cool, but his hand found Lindsay's wrist, knuckles white. I didn't raise my voice. Didn't need to. Mark Dalton, you forgot to invite someone, I said, clear as crystal. The crowd parted. He tried to hush me, but I pulled the USB from my clutch and held it up for everyone to see. You want to explain how you left me after my 2nd round of chemo? Murmurs spread. I pressed on, steady as I could. Or how you used company money to pay for vacations with your new wife? A silver-haired board member, Bernard, turned to Mark, brows furrowed. Is this true? I didn't answer him. Instead, I nodded at Daniel, who swept in like some courtroom drama, briefcase in hand. Here's the evidence, he said. All of it. Emails, receipts, 3 witnesses. Go ahead, check. Mark's color drained away. Lindsay tried to slip her hand out of his, but he clung on, desperate. I looked right at him, really looked, for the first time since he left me kneeling on that bathroom floor. You thought I'd die, or at least be too broken to fight back. Well, I'm still here. I remember everything." He stammered. "You're ruining my life." "No," I said, just loud enough. "I'm restoring balance. You ruined your own life." I turned on my heel, my heart pounding, and walked out. The hush in that ballroom followed me all the way down the hallway, past the coats and the shocked faces. Emily was waiting outside, holding my flats and my coat. I stepped out into the night, air sharp and bright. I could hear phones buzzing behind me, the world catching up to the truth. I didn't look back. "So, who gets the last word?"